All right, my friends, I think let's go ahead and get started. Welcome again to Lab at Home. I am not in my home lab. I am here at the Museum of Life and Science, and I'm in an exhibit, one of my favorite exhibits called Carolina Wildlife. And we're gonna kind of go through and see what Carolina Wildlife has been up to since the museum has been closed. And then we are gonna go behind the scenes to see how the animal care team takes care of all the wonderful animals here at the museum. So I'm gonna go ahead and instead of just seeing my face, I want you to see what I'm seeing. I'm gonna switch our camera over here. There we go. Beautiful. So I'm here in Carolina Wildlife, and I was wondering if you notice anything a little bit different. Is there anything that's a little bit different about Carolina Wildlife that you might not remember seeing last time? Oh, Leanne is here. Hi there. What do you think? Because what I see is this desk right here. We've got a couple of these desks because the animal care team needed to be able to spread out a little bit in order to all safely work here together. So instead of all being back in their office in the back hall, which I'll show you in a little while, they needed to drag some tables out here and do some of their work in this wonderful environment, which I think I would have fun doing. It looks like we've also, they said that they come in every couple weeks or so to sweep off some of the leaves, but we've got some leaves coming from this tree, which I actually didn't even realize was a real tree until fairly recently. It is real, it does grow, and it does shed leaves. So we're here in Carolina Wildlife, and I just wanted to maybe see if we could see what the different animals have been up to before we go behind the scenes. Here we have our little screech owl there. I would love to be able to see our alligator friends, and if you notice anything or if you have anything that you would like to look at, please let me know in the chat so that I can do it. I would love to be able to see the kinds of things that you all are interested in. I'm looking around for our alligator friends, and they're pretty well hidden. Oh, there's someone right there. We have 3 little American alligators here, and they are babies. We keep them here as when they're babies for about 2 years or so, and when they get big enough that this tank is kind of too small for them, then we kind of cycle them out and send them to live somewhere that is a little better suited to their size. Sounds like we've got some animal care team friends over there. We might be able to say hi to them as we kind of proceed through our tour here. So of course we have the beautiful barred owl right up here. Now this is the middle of the night for the barred owl, but he is kindly showing us some pretty cool flying here as we pass by. I'm gonna see if we can see any muskrats through here. Let's see. What do you all like best about Carolina Wildlife? Let's see, I'm not sure I see a muskrat in here. That's okay, because we can check out some of these snakes over here. I see that we've got some interesting fog going on in here. This is an example of animal enrichment, as well as the cute little ant drawings on the side. These are all done to kind of make the animals' days a little bit more interesting. So they get different enrichment every day, which keeps them from getting too bored. So looks like we have some interesting fog going on over here. Still have some cool ant drawings over here. Oh, you guys like the turtles and the snakes? That is perfect. I like them too. Let's see. Let's see if we see anybody. I think we have some pretty good camouflage going on right now. A lot of our snakes are pretty well camouflaged. Here's one, our black rat snake here that's out in the open. A bit easier to see. Beautiful. I think let's go ahead, and I'd love to see the turtles that you mentioned, and then we're going to see one more friend before we go ahead behind the scenes. So we have those beautiful turtles, and we're going to be able to see kind of how they get taken care of behind the scenes in just a minute here. Looks like we have a friend checking out a kale leaf. We have a beautiful painted turtle up here. So it's called Carolina wildlife because all of the wildlife in here are animals that you could see in this area, right, in North Carolina. Have you all ever seen any of the animals that we have here, like turtles or maybe some birds or any snakes? There's a bird over there. And then our last stop here is Florian, who is our striped skunk. You can just barely make him out there, that little white shape. We're going to see if we can look at him from a slightly different angle when we go behind the scenes. This is kind of the middle of the night for Florian as well, so he is sleeping. But let's go ahead and check out the animal care hall itself, right? These big doors that lead us into what we call the long hall. And we have, hi there, Mary. Mary is headed to their team meeting which they are having outside so that they can all safely gather. And that means that I can check out this really cool hall. I'm gonna first go behind the turtle tanks that I showed you earlier. We're gonna go down what we call the short hall, which is pretty funny because it's an awfully long hall for a short hall. And you can see right away we have the backs of those turtle tanks. Let's take a look inside of them. See if we can find the turtle. There we go. So there's kind of another angle. You can see that they are open at the top. You can see they have their little background pieces in the back here. And there's all sorts of cool things over here that we use for feeding the animals that eat insects. Yeah, I think that's what Max is talking about. Do we hear things like maybe a cricket chirping? Because we do have a whole box full of feeder crickets over here that our animals who eat insects like to eat. And we've got a bunch of these little kind of little larvae over here. Looks like they're enjoying some food as well. So we not only keep the animals fed, we feed the food that we feed the animals. I'm going to take another look through our turtle tank here. It's kind of a view that you don't usually get. You can see too that they've got a nice lamp up here for heat. So not only does that illuminate their tanks really well, but it helps keep them warm. You can see that they're on timers here. Let's see if we can find where the other one was. This one was swimming around a little bit, so we might not be able to see him. Oh, there he goes. All right, let's check out, we're just gonna kind of look down here because there's a lot of kind of concrete and pipes and things that make the reception a little bit difficult. We'll still see kind of the last thing that I wanted to show you here, which is the back of Florian's enclosure. So if we look through here, we can see where we were just a moment ago, looking into Florian's enclosure, the skunk, right? That's where we were. And now we are looking from the inside. There's one more view that we might be able to see Florian a little bit closer. We'll see if our reception holds. I think it will. So you can see that we've got all sorts of things stored back here. A lot of these are different kinds of enrichment, different things that we use. Let's see if the camera will focus. There we go. Different things that we use to make sure that the animals' lives aren't boring. We've got little things like different kinds of holy balls, which means that we can, little like balls that we can put food inside of so that they can kind of play around with them and try to get the food inside of them. I'm gonna see if I can see in there. It's pretty dark. He's under a little blanket. There's kind of, he has his own little blanket for today. So it's a little hard to see him, but that's okay because we have a lot of other cool friends to see today. So I'm gonna head back to where the reception is a little bit better. Beautiful. All right, we're going back past our feeder insects, past our turtle tanks, and we're gonna go back into the long hall, the animal care hall. So this is a door that I won't be going down because it needs a special key. This is the venomous snake hall. So through here, you can see all of the different snakes who are venomous. So I don't want to go in there. You need kind of special clearance to go in there. I'm just going to look in from this side. We've got a whole bunch of other things to see. I'm going to go ahead and take us down the hall. What do you think? What do you all want to see? Here we have a bunch of different bowls from animal feedings earlier in the day. I'm also going to take us in this room really quickly. The animal hall has its own little kitchen. So this kitchen has different kinds of fridges for all of the different diets that our various animals are on, right? So we've got this big walk-in freezer full of different things. And then we have all of these separate fridges to keep different kinds of like fruits and vegetables and all the sorts of things that animals like to eat separate. And this is the area where all of the food is prepared before it goes into animal enclosures. Now I hear something that I would love to investigate a little bit more. It's actually one of my good animal friends here in the EHR room. I'll come in and visit them. You are hearing the melodious strains of Jaybird, who is a blue jay. Hi, Jaybird. Hi, Jaybird. Hi there. Jaybird is one of my favorite animals here. They are very smart and they are very loud. Let's see if Jaybird will give us a different call if we check out some of the other animals. We'll come back to you, Jaybird, okay? In this room is where we have a lot of our mammals and of course our one avian, that's Jaybird. And we also have one marsupial here. We'll see if we can see him. Jaybird, oh my goodness. Jaybird said, where did all the people go? We have a team meeting and I can't see any more people besides this one person. So let's take a look here. We'll start at one of our mammals here. What do you all notice about this mammal? This is an interesting perspective. We're kind of seeing this mammal from the back. Let's take a look. What do you all think? This is a really, really fluffy and soft mammal with a very thick fur coat. This is a chinchilla. We have two chinchillas and this one is Salt. Can you guess what the other chinchilla's name is? We have one chinchilla named Salt and one chinchilla named Pepper. So we'll go see Pepper over here. You can see that right now he is resting inside of his little tube. He's asleep right now. Let's see if we can see his face a little better. Fast asleep. Hi there, Pepper. So those are two of our mammals. We have another one here. This is Betty, the rabbit. Hi there, Betty. Now, Betty used to live out in the farmyard, but she is a very old rabbit. She is 11 years old, and she enjoys the air conditioning a little bit better than being out in the farmyard. So we're here with Betty, and she's enjoying her enclosure here. Just earlier in the day, she was running around the floor. That was part of her enrichment, is we would take her out and let her run around in this area with the door closed. Jaybird also got to fly around in this room with the door closed earlier. Hi, Jaybird. Hi. Jaybird has a lot to say, being a blue jay, which is a type of bird that is very, very intelligent and very, very noisy. So let's see who else we have here. We have two different rabbits in here. I see one of them. These two rabbits are called Mocha and Latte, and they live back here. Along with the chinchillas, they're some of our program animals, meaning that they don't go out on exhibit. Instead, they go on different kinds of field trips and special events. So they live here behind the scenes and visitors don't usually get to see them. This is kind of a cool chance to see some of the other animals we have here. Now these guys, let's see, I think they might be sleeping, but if they hear me, they may come out to play. We have two ferrets in here named Ollie and Evie. You can see part of their enrichment is this ball pit. Today they have a ball pit You can see back there they have a cheese wheel, and they've got a little log to play in. They have all sorts of fun things to do, but they also love to sleep. This is their favorite time of day to sleep. They take tons of naps. Speaking of animals who love to sleep, we have our one marsupial in here. Chandler is our opossum, who may be in this bag or maybe inside of his little box there. But he is very cute. He actually has no tail, so he looks really cute when he walks, and he is a really cool addition to the family, right? Because there's only one type of marsupial in North America. He's a very special type of animal. We have, you can see over here, kind of these giant hamster balls that we often put the chinchillas in. We put them inside of there so that they can run around safely and not get stuck underneath anything. We've also got some amphibians in here. We have some salamanders who are probably pretty well buried. I'm not sure if I'll be able to see them without digging a little bit, and I don't want to disturb them too much. And here I know we also have, oh, there she is. We have Gordon in here. Gordon is a gecko, a crested gecko, which is a type of lizard. And one of the animal care team was telling me that she's been hiding in the back a whole lot recently, and that they think that it's the right time of year and that's the right kind of behavior that tells us that she might be ready to lay an egg. So there's no, Gordon is a female gecko, there's no male gecko, but just kind of like chickens lay eggs, even though not all eggs become baby chickens, right? The egg that Gordon lays will not become a baby gecko, but it will be an egg that she lays. I'm actually gonna just take a quick peek at her. I won't get too close. Very nice. So here we have Gordon in her enclosure. You can see that there's a little bit of kind of mist coming down to make sure that she is kept nice and moist. She likes to be nice and wet in there. This is something we can't see super well from the angle that we're at. But Gordon is really special. She does not have a tail. She was born with a tail, but she lost it at some point during her life. So kind of like Chandler, she doesn't have a tail, and she gets along pretty well without it, but it does mean that a lot of people think at first glance that she might be a frog. She is, of course, a reptile, but we do have these amphibians here, and we have an entire other room that's also filled with some different reptiles and one amphibian. Before I head out to those other rooms, I wanted to see, is there anything that anyone would like to take a closer look at? What do you think, my friends? Anybody you might like to look at a little bit closer? I think I might keep Jaybird company while we're thinking about it. Yeah, hi, Jaybird. Oh, yeah. They are one of my favorites. So you can see that Jaybird has this nice big enclosure here, and we change around the arrangement. Yeah, that is a very excited call of Jaybird. Are you so excited to be seeing all of these friends here? I think so. Oh, yeah. Jaybird gets lots of different kinds of toys. Looks like this is what they have today, but they, of course, get their enrichment changed out, just like the other animals do. So sometimes they have different things on the ground of their enclosure. Sometimes there are different pictures or backdrops and patterns for Jaybird to look at. All sorts of different fun things to make sure that Jaybird stays entertained. Oh my goodness, you are the loudest bird. You are. All right, friends, I want to go ahead and make sure we can check out some of the other areas. So I'm going to say goodbye, Jaybird. I'll come back to see you later. And we're going to head out to check out some other spaces. All right. So we're back here in the long hall. You can hear Jaybird still behind us. And we have this area here, which is the vet room. So this is where different members of the animal care team might inspect, take a look at, make sure that the different animals are healthy. We also have a vet that comes to visit for special checkups every now and again. And unless they're a large animal, they will be taken in here to be checked up on. So I'm going past here. These cages they don't currently have anybody in them. but they're often used for when we take some of our lizards out to sun. So there's an outdoor door that we're going to check out in just a few minutes that, of course, right, leads outside. So sometimes we like to take the lizards outside in these enclosures so that they can get some sun, that they can be nice and warm, so they can see a different place than their enclosures. Let's go ahead and hear. So I'm going to come into the RHR, which is this room right here. And I know I know one of our friends in the chat mentioned that they weren't super excited about seeing snakes, but some of the snakes in here are really, really cool. I can personally attest that they're a lot of fun, but I'll let you know that they are coming up. We are going to visit them. Let's see if we can find anybody here. I know in particular we have a ball python here named Gatsby. So I love to look at Gatsby's face because I think that he has a face that looks kind of like a puppy dog or a bunny. I think he has, you see his big black eye. I think he's really cute. Oh, this is a really good question from Max. What do you think, friends? Why does the RHR have a door that's closed all the time, whereas the EHR, the room we were before with the different mammals, you don't have to keep that door closed unless there's an animal out on the floor? What do you think? While you're thinking, I'm going to check out on one of my friends here. This is Zoe, who is an aquatic turtle. Looks like he's hanging out here. He's not sure about me. He's kind of backing his head into his shell. But he's a really special turtle. He is a hybrid of two different species, red-eared sliders and yellow-bellied sliders. He's kind of half and half. And he has an area of his tank for being dry. And then he has a big swimming pool to swim in. Much like the other animals in the reptile room, they need a closed door because when you step in here, it's a lot warmer than it is outside. It's a lot warmer and a lot more humid, which means there is more moisture in the air. The reptiles like it with a little bit more moisture in the air, so we keep that door closed to keep kind of a different environment for them in here. We have a really beautiful bearded dragon here. This one's name is Ducky. So she hangs out in here. She has some very, very beautiful colors. Looks like she's got some moss in there today for some enrichment. And we have another beardy right in here. This is Ichabod. He's one of the largest beardies I have ever handled before. He's pretty big. So they're pretty cool. We also have a milk snake who looks like Apollo, the milk snake. Oh, I see them. You can see part of their body right there. It looks like they're kind of taking a nap behind their water. Down here we have another one of our ball pythons who's also hanging out underneath kind of inside of their little rock cave here. We have a pine snake here named Goodall. And another pine snake you can see a little better named Optimus Prime. So this is Optimus Prime, which I think is a great name for a pine snake and really a great name for any animal, but he is kind of hiding back there. A lot of what they do is just kind of hang out. A lot of them are not super active in the middle of the day. So they're just kind of hanging out. They don't get fed the reptiles like the snakes don't get fed every day. Their eating schedule is kind of every couple of days because they digest really slowly. They're just kind of laid back animals who just like to hang out. And then we have one of our box turtles here. This is Box B, who is a very friendly turtle, loves to socialize. So he's often out poking his head out. There's another box turtle whose name is Treehouse. It looks like, this is her enclosure over here. It looks like she's kind of hanging out in the moss somewhere. Her camouflage is pretty good, so I can't really even find her. Very nice, my friends. Anyone else you would like to get a slightly closer look at before we go? Ooh, let's see if we can find our marine toad in here. This is where Bufo, the marine toad, lives. And earlier today, there was a lot of fog in his enclosure just because that was part of his enrichment. But I think he might be in that little kind of cave in the back, so it's a little hard to see him. What do you think, friends? Anybody who you'd like to see before we head out to see one more group of animals? I think I want to take another look at Zoe. Hi, Zoe. What do you think? Do you want to go into the water part of your enclosure? Or maybe just away from the strange person who is poking a camera in your face? They're usually pretty friendly animals, if a little bit shy at first. Zoe's really special. I really like hanging out with Zoe because you can kind of see back where his leg is right here, how there's a little bit of a divot, like a little piece kind of missing from his shell. And that's because he had a piece of his shell that got sick, that was cancerous, so it had to be removed. And now that it's removed, he is healthy again. Oh, I see we had a good question about, do we have any rattlesnakes? We do not have any rattlesnakes. Oh, there he goes. We do not have any rattlesnakes in here. If we did have them, they would be on the venomous snake haul. But since all of the venomous snakes are not program animals, they are just kind of for display in Carolina wildlife. Since I don't believe we have any native rattlesnakes, right? We wouldn't in North Carolina, then I don't believe we would have any rattlesnakes in Carolina wildlife. We might have to check on that one. I'm pretty sure we don't have any, but we could. So I'm gonna go ahead and say goodbye to Zoe. See you later, Zoe, and see you later, wonderful denizens of the RHR. I'm gonna turn around and take us one last place here at the very end. Oh, what a good question. We have Lori asking, have the animals acted any differently with us now that we are all wearing masks? That is such a good question. The animals have definitely been affected by some of the different kind of behaviors that we humans have to adopt, like making sure that there's not too many people bustling around. In general, there's a lot less activity. So I think the animals have definitely noticed that. You saw how excited Jaybird was to see another person so soon. So I think that that's one of the effects. In terms of wearing a mask versus not wearing a mask, I think it's likely that some of our other animals would notice something like that. Like I wonder if any of our farm animals would notice. As far as I know, the animals who kind of live back here are not ones that really look at the face too much. I bet that Jaybird is smart enough to notice, but I'm not sure that that would affect their behavior too much. That's a great question. Oh, thank you for correcting me, Max. It sounds like we do have the timber rattler, eastern diamondback, and Carolina pygmy rattlesnake, all in North Carolina. Well, I was incorrect, but we do not have any of those rattlers here in Carolina wildlife. Real quick before we go outside, I just wanted to note, we have a quarantine room over there, and that's for any new animals that we get who have to stay in quarantine for 2 weeks, just to make sure that they are safe to go into the other rooms where the animals live, right? That they don't bring any sort of illness to them. And we're finally gonna head outside here to an area that is behind Gateway Park. So the park with the slide and the jungle gym and everything is kind of over there, and we're behind it. You can see that that's where the museum is over there. And we're in this area to say hello, to wave farewell to two of our program chickens. This is Lucy and Camille. Hello, chickens. And they like to hang out here. These are different chickens than the ones who live in the farmyard. They are special program animals, so they're a little more used to being held and petted. Although I don't think I'll be holding them or petting them today. Just saying hello. They have their cool big enclosure over here. All right. About Lucy here is her beautiful kind of feathered crest. So she has this really beautiful kind of feathery poof on the top of her head that makes her really interesting to look at. Very nice, my friends. I think we are kind of right at time here. Are there any other questions or thoughts or ideas that our friends have before we say goodbye? That's one of my favorite things to do, is to show people behind the scenes, like and what we do here at the museum, and how we take care of our animals. Yeah, for sure. Thank you. You're of course always welcome to ask us more questions via email. We would love to confer. We would love to talk with the animal keepers to answer some of those amazing questions you had. And in the meantime, I want to thank you for being here. Thank you all for your interest and your cool questions and observations. I'm going to go ahead and sign off, but I hope that we will see you next week on Wednesday, same time at 2 p.m. Very nice, friends. Yeah, as Max is saying, if you've got any more questions about the Animal Hall team, you can send them our way. We will send them to the animal care team. I think as we're signing off, I'll let you see those cool chickens you mentioned and the cool ways that they walk.